Hello.
Hello, are we live?
Yeah, Chief Brody
Hey,
Rules is in the
Chief Brody
house.
Rules is in the house. My man, Chief Brody. I wish I could see what's happening, but I just have another screen up that isn't YouTube. So I'm missing out a little bit.
How's it going, Chief Brody?
How's it going? How's it going, Luke?
How's it going, me? Good. Very well. Very well. Well, it's been a busy day. It's been a busy week. I was pedal to the metal all day today, trying to get a script finished. And it was stressful but good
A script.
for the podcast.
Right.
And it's cool.
Noise.
It's one of my favorite shows that we do, called Scotland Yard Confidential.
Nice.
It's a nice little murder mystery script that I wrote. It's all true stories. It's based on a real. It's on a true case.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, but it was yeah. So I needed to get it drafted and sent in today, and so I was very rushed today to get that finished. But I did it, and I'm sure have a lot of editorial notes come Monday because I was in a rush.
I mean, look,
Um,
these things happen. You can't stop the train from going.
nope, nope. Frank, no, this is not a new camera. This is the same camera, but I did get a microphone.
A new one, yeah, it sounds better. Sounds
Mm,
better than ever.
I hope so because I was very disappointed when I heard myself back.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's very tingy, but also you could hear the fan the whole time because it was very hot in here. Uh,
I mean, look, that's the thing about wanting to have a good podcast or a good video. You have to invest in better gear, you
you
know?
do. Hello
Hey,
there.
KSC, glad you found the show too. I'm glad you're here. I'm going to do a little bit of a different thing today if Luke doesn't get too annoyed by me, and I'm just going to be drawing a little bit while we talk
Do it.
sometimes.
Do it. KSC earlier was commenting because he that's pretty cool. Oh, that's King Ghidorah.
There we
Uh,
go. Yeah.
KSC was commenting earlier because they, I don't know if you're a guy or a girl or whatever, but they knew about your Lord of the Rings audiobook and they
Oh,
loved it,
very nice. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
and they were thrilled to find you.
Me.
Here he is.
And you'll be very disappointed in the future, as the mantra always goes.
That mantra. Nah, it's all right. It's all right.
Never, never meet your heroes.
Guy, right on. But how's your week been, Phil? Since last we spoke.
uh, I mean, it's been positively uneventful. Um, it's just been, you know, gotta gotta work on the thing to pay the bill, plural, and
Yep.
wait until next. The hopefully next week's gonna be better. I don't know. That's kind of how it's been. There's really nothing else I have to say. I don't even think I've watched any movies. Oh wait, I did. I watched District 9 again.
Oh yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. You know, it's like it's a gem. I mean, like when I first saw District 9 in 2009, I was in a very bad, like very poor perspective on movies because I
Mm.
was at that point where I'm like, my competition are these people making these movies, and if they make a good movie, I'm going to be disappointed and depressed because now I have a harder time pitching my movie. So when I watched it, I was like, oh, how do these people make good movies? I realized, you know, and but no, now when I watch it again, how many years later? 13 years later,
Mm.
I'm just like, why aren't people talking about it more? It's really good. It's really good.
I only saw it the one time, and so I saw it, and I never had any desire to rewatch it because not because I didn't like it, but like it had such a grimy feel. You know, like the whole. It's
Grime
just such a
is
yeah.
yeah,
It's
that's
just so
that's the palette of the
dirty.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was just like I never really yeah because of that I never wanted to go back and rewatch it. Um,
You just watch too many Star Treks. to. You don't want the filthy aliens. You want the
Well, I
clean,
don't mind
beautiful
the filthy
Holly.
aliens. I don't mind filthy. I don't mind grime. It just felt like a lot of grime. It just the whole world felt like
Yeah, it's
ultra.
disgusting.
Yeah. And it made me feel gross. And I think that's the
I see.
like when you don't like to watch Jaws.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. Well, tell me why. What's your reason, Chief Brody? He had no desire to revisit it either.
Hey, we're there we go. Highlighted comments. I was about to remind you. We got that. We got that. We got highlighted comments, dude.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. But yeah, no, tell us, Chief, why? Chief? Chief?
Chief.
Um, yeah, no, this
Chief.
week this week I didn't watch any movies. What did I watch? Claire and I kind of powered our way through the second season of Superman and Lois, um, which we both like, but also have a lot of problems with at the same time.
Really?
I don't know if anyone watching has seen Superman and Lois, or if you like it or anything. But yeah, it has a little bit of like the Smallville charm, but it's the writing is a bit first draft, and they resolve big plot lines. Like they'll set up a character arc that could be the whole season, and they'll resolve it in an episode, or they'll resolve it by the next
Oh.
scene. And so there's a lot of
Okay.
things like that you feel like they've rushed, and it's like, oh, let this stuff breathe. You got
Why
a
would you
really, you
do
got a lot
that?
of,
Yeah.
you got a lot of really good ideas, but you don't let them breathe. And
But they waste them.
yeah, I do. I think they do. I think they do. Frank says that I remember being overhyped, and the movie was just fine. I am in agreement with you on that. It was very hyped. It was around the same time that
Was it just
Slumdog
like
Millionaire came out, and I remember that being overhyped.
oh yeah, and then I watched it. I watched Slumdog and I'm like, I don't
Yep.
remember anything about
I
the
was
movie.
like,
I only
no.
remember the ending where they dance.
Yeah, the dance scene was cool, and the music was really good for the movie.
Way-ho!
Yeah, but yeah, that was my first Bollywood experience. So when they started dancing, being the naive Midwest American living in Manchester, uh, England, I was like, why are they dancing? What's going on?
Wow,
'Cause
2009 was a slow year. Slumdog was 2008. Whoops.
okay, that I mean, they all kind of blurs into the same. Slumdog must have been. It was if it was in 2008.
It must have been December, wasn't
It
it?
was in the. It
Or
was in
November.
the. Yeah, it would have been in the winter because I saw it in Manchester and I moved in the U to the UK in September. So it was then. But then I'm assuming District 9 must have been summer.
2009? Yeah, sounds
Must
like
have been maybe.
August.
Chief Brody also says the filmmaker sort of just stayed in that same vein and didn't branch out.
Yeah, I just remembered. I just remembered we had this inside joke that Chief Brody Rules might remember, where way back in 2013 we talked. This was our first podcast with our cousin Tim, and if
Mm.
anybody doesn't know, we had this podcast called Phil and Jake in Conversation that went from 2013 to 2019, and we talked about all kinds of just random topics, but mostly it was like movies and entertainment and art and stuff like that. And our cousin Tim, and we were like slightly drunk when we were doing that podcast about The Hobbit, because it was the first time we talked about The Hobbit. This was for the second movie, and then I went through the history of how the movie was being developed, right? And
Mhm.
then I got to Neil Blomkamp, who was the director of District 9, because he was going to do Halo, the movie. And I don't know if you remember his Halo demo short film. It's out on YouTube. It was like
Mhm.
from 2005, 2006. And it was kind of cool looking, but um, I kept going on about him supposed to do the Halo movie. And if that didn't work out, then Peter Jackson, Fran Walsh, and him decided, let's just make our own property. And it's like, you made that short film Alive in Joburg. Let's just do that as a movie. And that's what they did. And then Tim just went, who was that, Halo Man? And that slew me because I was so drunk and I just couldn't breathe when he just said Halo Man. So for us, Neil Blomkamp is Halo Man. Whenever we see him, we're like, it's Halo Man. Yeah. And yeah, so it's true. Halo Man definitely just has his own style and didn't branch out.
Did he have anything to do with the Halo TV show that's
No,
on
no, no, no.
something
That's
Paramount?
all done. All totally different. Yeah.
Okay, okay. KSE says that he is just outside of Manchester, which is cool. I won't ask where because that's you probably don't want to tell people that. But yeah, no, I lived in Manchester for 3 years and I loved it.
Yeah,
Um,
nice.
it was a lot of fun. It's been a long time since I visited. I think it was 2019, something like that. But yeah, no, it's a great city. I miss it and would like to visit again soon. Because yeah, that would be cool. Right, so we've given people 10 minutes to get in. If you
Let's
haven't
go.
already, if you haven't already, like the video, please. Appreciate it if you would, and also go share it with people. Say, get in here and watch us because I mean,
Yeah, do it,
we're
do it, do
we're
it.
flipping fun. I'm
The
gonna try
more the
really
merrier.
hard to not curse.
I think you
Okay.
just have to curse for the. You shouldn't like for the first 10 minutes. It's fine. You know,
Okay.
it's like not fine, and then the rest of it. I don't know if you changed their algorithm or not.
Who knows? Who knows? But yes, like, subscribe, share, please. Thank you, and good night. Okay, so
What do
the
we
first thing
have?
I want to talk
What's
about,
going on? What's
first thing
going
I want to
on,
talk
Luke?
about, and Frank, you're gonna laugh at me because last week number one, I was like, I'm done, not talking about this ever again. But what are we talking about? She-Hulk. Talking about She-Hulk. Okay, I wasn't going to do this. I promise you, I was
Sure.
not going to talk about Marvel today. But the problem is, they said they've just done too many things that I'm like, wait, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? One of the things that one of the things that they've done, and this is something, Phil, you and I talked about in private. I don't remember if we talked about it on screen at all. But there
Yeah,
was an
that's what we talked
article.
during, around the water cooler.
Yeah, there was an article going around where they were talking about Luke loves MCU, where they were talking about Daredevil, and they were saying that this version of Daredevil is going to be a lighter Daredevil, a more
They said it.
comedic Daredevil. And they
They
said
said
it.
that.
They said it. They said it.
They
It's a
said it.
lighter, yes, lighter tone Daredevil because he's in She-Hulk, right? So this version of him is a lighter tone. We're gonna experience his character in this lighter show, that kind of stuff. And part of it, like, I get, like, Charlie Cox's cameo in No Way Home was fine. I bought it as still possibly the same version of Daredevil that we saw
I mean, yeah.
in the show, but it was a 3 second scene that really was pointless. Didn't need to be there.
But
Because
doesn't it make sense? Like he's a lawyer. He lives in the same area, and he's doing it for people who don't necessarily have the money or the means to
well, what doesn't make sense
represent
about
him.
that is Peter Parker at that point in time has the power of Tony Stark's empire behind him. Yet he
Yeah.
uses
Okay. Yeah.
he uses a lawyer who is meant to work for like charity cases. So that's why his cameo made no sense, in my opinion.
Right.
Because it just didn't make sense. So, but yeah, so She-Hulk. So they mentioned that, and I was like, oh god. Like they're already going to, like, I think, ruin Charlie Cox's version of Daredevil just
Yeah.
in
I
this
mean,
show alone.
I can't
And
wait. Can't you wait to see this?
so but then there was more. Then there was more.
Come on.
Um,
Don't do this. Don't do
what
this to
what
me.
what made me laugh so much was part of their marketing, right? And there's all these articles going around where we've come to find out that She-Hulk is
Go on.
actually on Tinder.
Oh yeah. Did anyone
So if
hear
you
about
don't
this?
know
Did
what
anyone know
Tinder
about
is,
this?
Luke will watch every show. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second,
It's gonna be great.
Franklin. Um,
It's gonna be great.
like 80, and you're watching this, and you don't know what Tinder is. It's an online dating app, but it's literally
Well,
like the
yeah.
dregs of society now. It's literally for kind of gross
Oh, it's awful.
hookups and things. It's not for like people literally looking for, like, something genuine or some friendship. It's just like the opening lines I've received in the past on that are so gross I cannot say them on this show because just no way. Um, but yeah, so She-Hulk is on Tinder as it's an ad. Obviously, people are matching with an ad is essentially all it is.
I can't believe this. I can't believe this.
Well, it's just
I
it's
don't
so
know.
cheesy,
This gives me the cringy wingies.
right?
It's
Doesn't it?
just yeah.
This is ultra cringe. I knew we'd match. There's plenty to love in She-Hulk, attorney at law. Like,
Uh,
cameos, dating, happy hours, yoga, magic, fashion, and the list goes on. Really?
Now stop reading this. Message your match below and set up a date to watch She-Hulk Attorney at Law August 18th on Disney Plus.
It's so cringe. It's so cringe. I don't like it at all. I find this just really quite annoying. Um, why stoop to this sort of level? I mean, it is a massive indication. As this is why we call again. This is why we go back to
Going.
it's phase by. It's like no way, no way. I don't want anything to do with this, but here I am having something to do with it. Because it's absurdly cheesy, and it tells you what kind of demographic they're going after. They're not trying to be smart or clever or interesting. They're just trying to be like zany and witty and annoying. And
I think that's kind of what this franchise, for the lack of a better term, like kind of is at the moment.
yeah.
That's how it feels.
Oh,
Oy.
absolutely.
Oy.
Oy.
Oy. I can't. Like, why? Like, has this happened before? I'm pretty sure that there's been some other marketing tactics like that. But
Oh, I mean, I'm sure there have been, but this was just to me just like so crazy. And this is also funny. Let's talk about let's look at this for a second. So we've all made fun of the bad CGI. We've all seen how terrible
I think
this
everyone's
is.
had a go with it. Yeah.
And we've seen like this bizarre scene where she's, but like you can look at the hands, like
It
you
looks
can
like
see.
it looks like on Twitter there's this thing called like what is it? Shitty movie posters, fan made movie posters.
Yes, fan
And
made.
this
Yes,
is
shitty.
kind of
Yes,
this like
yes,
you just cut this out, put it in there. It's gonna be perfect.
yes. So obviously we've all made fun of this. We've all seen it's super cringe. But then the funny thing is, and this just again speaks volumes to their Marvel's Disney's creative arm. There's an article in IGN where they asked Marvel said, "Hey, can you cut more She-Hulk scenes? Can you change more She-Hulk scenes to Jen scenes? Can she be Jen in more scenes?" Literally to cut cost,
Wow. Yeah, yeah,
of
yeah.
CGI. And it's like,
Wow.
wow, this is so
It's
embarrassing that your
beautiful.
Marvel TV show, your She-Hulk TV
They're
show,
pushing that thing so hard and going, hey, could you just, enough with the Hulk stuff. Like, let's put more Gen stuff, just so we can cut corners a bit. Save some money here and there.
it's so silly to me.
Shots. Ah, dude.
But then the
But
last thing going.
Chief Brody says Luke will watch every She-Hulk episode.
So here's the thing, Chief Brody. So my partner is a lawyer.
Oh.
So we were talking about She-Hulk over lunch today, and she was like, "Oh, she's a lawyer." Like she saw the trailer, she thought it looked stupid, but then she's like, "Oh, but she's a lawyer." She's like, "I'm kind of intrigued," but it's like it's one of those things where we do tend to watch really bad stuff, even though we know it's bad, and then we just sort of rip on it or try and like workshop it to make it better. So yeah, I don't know. We might be watching it, but I will not be talking about She-Hulk every week. I might give
Can you believe it?
updates.
This is the She-Hulk show. What did you think of episode 3, Luke?
Yeah, no way, no way. But I think this is like the perfect summary. Like we were saying earlier, like those clips of like, this is how it started and this is how it's going. I
Oh
saw
yeah.
this on Twitter because
Oh yeah.
someone
Okay.
did it, and it was just like boom, and it's like you
Oh
have
boy.
Edward Norton's Hulk, which I like the design. I don't hate it. I think it's
I
fine.
go on.
But I was saying, but I absolutely hate hipster Hulk. I hate hipster Hulk. And what have they done with this guy? What have they done with Abomination? Like
Yeah.
this over here is the Abomination. Like what have you done? What have you
Uh,
done?
I'm
Yeah.
trying to
No.
wrap my head around it. Sorry, I'm just kind of quiet because I'm just looking at this and being like to an extent, I understand, but to another, on a more, what do you call that? Like a more global meta view. It's just like where do we end up? Like where do we
Yeah.
end up? You know, what's the point of superhero stories? What's the point of
Yeah.
all this this storytelling? I mean, there's like I think the reason why we all kind of like a lot of people are interested in these kind of comic books is it's just that their context has a lot to do with action and high stakes and adventure and you
Well,
know
there's the power
things
fantasy
to
element.
amaze, yeah, and things to be amazed at, tales to astonish, stuff like that. And we changed it to just it's turning into just like they're just regular people like you and me, except he just happens to be green and
Yeah.
really strong.
Yeah. And like, why is Abomination sitting there smirking and wearing clothes like this?
But do Luke, at least he has his ears.
Ugh.
Fun fact about the Abomination, at least in the comics, the character comes from Zagreb, Croatia.
Oh, does
So
he?
that's cool. Yeah. So at least we have that going for us over here.
Now
We got the
that I didn't
Abomination.
know.
But like I remember the director, I think his name is Louis Leterrier, who did the
Right.
Incredible Hulk.
Yep.
He said, "Oh, we decided not to give him the ears because the first thing the Hulk will do is rip them off." I was mad at that because I was like, "But that's what he looks like, You're changing it." And I feel like that's a very like I believe like looking back, the Abomination and the Incredible Hulk is kind of like a good example of 2000s mentality of how to adapt a comic book character because they just think make it rougher, grittier, and cooler, and then it just turns into a massive nothing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like the Abomination is just he really is like some kind of like grayish, greenish, veiny big man with no identifying features. But that's
Yeah.
cool because he's like, and the new one is going back to that style, but the new one is they stripped every kind of ferocity from it, and I think that
Yeah.
that's kind of what Marvel Phase 4, Phase 5 feels like. It feels like a lot of that uh, danger, a lot of that like excitement and sense of adventure in a broad meaning. You know what I mean? Like in a sense of you're you're like it's something that you can be invested in. It goes away for like I said, Hulk sipping a latte and saying we can't get drunk because of our biology. Isn't that great?
Oh, that was uber cringe.
And then you go back to Captain America, the first movie, where he's like trying to get drunk because he's so sad. And he's like, I can't.
Yeah.
He's sad. It's like the
That
saddest thing.
those were moments in the original sort of run where they were trying to be serious.
They're trying something. Yeah.
I mean, Iron Man 1 was the most serious. The rest didn't really get there, but Iron Man 1 was definitely the most serious.
Yeah, but you compare that to what we have now,
Oh yeah, no, it's terrible.
from what I've seen so far. I see Superman.
Superman.
Oh, does it identify it? There you go.
Perfect. Looks cool. I like it.
That's what I was trying. Thank you.
All right, let's move on to the main topic at hand, and that is DC is an
Oh
infinite
yeah,
crisis.
DC. Okay, I gotta get my mojito, because it's
Oh,
been it's been in the freezer for a
all
bit.
right. Get you
It's
mojito.
super cold. So you start.
I'll chat. Hello, who's in the chat? Say hello. Those of you who are in the chat, tell me something about yourself. Um, and ask me a question, and I will answer it because that's what I do. Um, yeah, no. As I was saying, we were watching Superman and Lois, and it's funny because like I really like. I think there's a lot of really cool things, elements in the show, and I really like the main actor who plays Superman, and like is the the actors who play the kids and all that kind of stuff. Like it has so many really cool components. It's probably one of the better DC shows that have come out in a very long time. Um, but it is funny to me how quickly the season just becomes like muddled. Like in this new season, they had Bizarro turn up, and I was like, okay, this the main villain of the season is going to be Bizarro. Turns out, no, the main villain of the season is not Bizarro. The Bizarro ends up, spoiler alert for Superman and Lois season 2. So close your ear for 3 seconds. But they kill Bizarro within like 4 episodes or less, and he's literally gone. And I'm like, what have you done? And then they don't really develop the main villain, and that's kind of been my biggest problem with Superman and Lois. I sort of like it, but then at the same time, it lets things down. Phil is back with his mojito.
I'm back.
Mojito.
Yeah, look at it. It's just.
Look at it.
It's
Look at my cold tea.
Glad I put that in the freezer. Okay, so DC, what are we talking about? DC.
So, I mean, it's been a ride. It's been a ride. I've been absolutely fascinated by watching all of the cancellations and things like that. And there was an article in the Hollywood Reporter, which I suppose I can just like show it on the screen if you want. But let's see, there we go. So yeah, DC Films reset adds more confusion to the Warner Brothers slate, and it is bizarre. It is bizarre what they're doing. I was flabbergasted when they said they were going to cancel Batgirl. I couldn't believe that was just a film that was done, a film that was carrying on from what happens in the Flash movie, carrying on Michael Keaton, his return to this character after 30 some odd years, just done. Shelved, never to be seen.
That is so strange. Yeah, I was surprised myself. You know, these things don't happen very often.
No,
right?
I mean,
even
I think
though I know we've all kind of been like, oh yeah, Batgirl might be good, maybe not, but at the same time, just after this transference of power, right, with the Warner Brothers, to see them really go hard and really brutally over all these projects that were left over before new management showed up is like shocked me in a way, because it's like I've never heard of something like this for a very long time. A completed film, just and with so many options of being able to put it on Hulu. What am I talking about? On HBO Max, on direct to video. There's like these options that cost no money, but no, they're not going to do that at all. And there's this dude called, what's his name? Discovery CEO David Zaslav.
Oh yeah, Zaslav. Yeah. It is bizarre. It is bizarre because I'm just thinking. I just keep asking myself, how bad could Batgirl really be? How bad could it be? Recently, Philip, you and I and Claire watched, and our other friend Deej watched Birds of Prey, the emancipation of Harley Quinn, zippity doo dah, and that film sucked so hard. I'd never seen it. It's the first time. Recently saw a couple less than a month ago. Never seen it. Sat down and watched it because my friend Deej swore up and down that it was a good film, and I was like, okay, fine. It's the first Suicide Squad was terrible. Maybe this sequel does something, and that's fun. and it was a complete disjointed mess. Like
Mhm.
we couldn't follow, none of us could follow what was going on, what the stakes were, who
Yeah.
was meant to be doing what. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the huntress character of the huntress was completely pointless. You cut her out of the film, you changed nothing. And
Yeah.
and so I'm like, there's no way. Hey Path, there's no way that Batgirl could suck that as bad as that. I tell myself that, at least.
I don't believe that. I think that it's better than Birds of Prey. Can't be worse than that.
It can't. Yes, I mean, Suicide Squad was dreadful. The first one, unwatchable. Biffer. Suicide Squad was terrible. The first one, couldn't stand it. Shocking to me, but because it made money, people thought it was good. Mind blowing. So I'm just like, I've seen these things. You know, we've all saw bloated Batman v Superman, and we saw Man of Steel, and they're all sort of bleh. I'm like, there's just no way. I struggle so hard to see it. And
Mm-hmm.
my question is this really about quality, or is it just really wanting, as they say, this clean slate? They just want to start over, and they're trying to do that as seamlessly as possible
Right.
by cutting out all this other stuff. Because the rumor is that, you know, Michael Keaton was going to die in this film, and she was going to become the new Bat person in the DC universe, or something like that,
The
right?
suit is perfect, Luke. It will be once it fits a
Oh
woman.
God, oh God. I never
Yeah.
watched that show. I didn't hate myself enough. Yeah. So Chief, we will get to this question in a little bit. KSC. Um, Chief
Okay.
Brody says it makes me wonder how many other movies are written off like
Well, that's what
this.
I wanted to say. I think I have an answer to
What's
this
your answer?
because I've heard that things like this, uh, when you acquire a company that has a lot of debt, and for some reason, I think I've heard that WB has had a lot of debt to settle with a lot of different things that they've done, and there are certain things that you can do to slash down either taxes or some kind or those types of debts by law in the U.S. And one of
Yeah.
those things is being able to write off certain projects that you're working on as incomplete or that you can't finish. And once you do that, these sorts of debts that the company that you have acquired that don't belong to you. Those weren't your problems. That was the company's problem before. It was the previous owner's problems. So you can slash all these kinds of movies or projects that they had and write it off as incomplete or not finished, and with that take off the debt that it's owed. And I believe I think that's the real reason why these movies are getting the axe. It's just because they don't want to have all this money to pay back
Yeah.
whatever Warner Brothers owes to other investors
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with Discovery at the moment. And so I feel like Batgirl and some other movies and some other TV shows probably just didn't feel worthwhile to.
Yeah.
They weren't expecting it to make the money back, so
Yeah.
that's why they were so brutal about it. And I
I
think that that's
did.
it.
I did read where the test screenings of Black Adam and Batgirl were apparently like the same response, but Batgirl got canned.
Yeah,
Whereas,
but I think the reason why Black Adam
oh
didn't is
no, I know,
because they,
Go. What?
well, because they believe The Rock's gonna bring in the
Exactly.
audience.
Exactly. I was like, between the two, The Rock will carry the film. The Rock will bring in the audience.
They think that
Um,
he will. Who knows? But I'm just saying.
yeah, I think it probably will, just because he has that built-in fan base
Sure.
that love The Rock and will go see The Rock, right? Mixed with mixed with the Shazam fan base who are interested in like kind of stuff, right? Whereas, you know, Batgirl really only had Keaton going for it. I don't know the actress who is playing Batgirl. Maybe she's great. Maybe I've seen her in other things I don't know about it. But in terms of like star power, she's not a name big enough to draw people. So I do feel like, and I feel bad for her, and I do
I think
feel
we all
bad
feel
for her.
bad for everybody who
Yeah,
like KSE wrote, like it's savage for all those that put the time and hard work, and it's true. It's like it's
yes,
unfortunate that they can't show off what they've been working on, but at
yeah,
the same time, I remember a friend telling me, well, not me specifically, but he spoke about this and said, yeah, but in the end, you know, it is a job, you got paid, and it's sad that you can't show it off, but
yeah.
in the end, that's the job you were here to fulfill. It's out of your hands, right?
True, true,
Right?
true. I mean,
So,
we have this right here. You know, we have the Batgirl composer who's written
oh, that's
90
right. That's right.
90 minutes
This
of
is interesting.
music. She's, you know, Natalie Holt, who did the Loki score, which I was
I
saying
know.
earlier off camera. I really, okay. We'll call you K.
Okay,
KSE
Code
says
K.
call him K. We'll do. Um, yeah, I mean, 90 minutes of score. I really like Natalie Holt's score for Loki. I think it's a
Right.
terrific score, and I would argue is the second most memorable score in the MCU. First being Iron Man, and I'm talking about the score as a whole, not just themes, because yes, everyone knows the Avenger theme. Um, and a few people will know Captain America's theme. But what's Thor's theme? What's the Guardians theme? Well, I don't know. What's Spider-Man's theme doesn't count because that's just the '60s TV show, and
Well, no, no. The Spider-Man theme goes dun 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 dun
he's
dun
yeah,
dun.
that's boring.
It's
In my opinion, is it's boring.
weak.
It is weak. But yeah, so I'm just sort of like this. You know, these people have worked really hard on this stuff. It's all getting canned, and it really does suck. And I do hope maybe one day it's released somehow.
Leaked.
It probably won't ever be, but I mean, even from my experience writing scripts for podcasts, like there have been times that I have written full episodes and done all the work, all the everything is in place, and for whatever reason, things happen and an episode doesn't get shown, doesn't get released. You know.
Yeah, I mean that's the nature of reality with this. It's art and a business, and it's weird and it sucks, but they can't exist mutually exclusively or
Mm-mm.
exclusively mutual. I don't know what the term is, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, it's always murky when you know when it's business and art in business because there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of you
Mm.
know different
I put
feelings
my heart
that
and
are
my soul into it.
yeah.
My heart and my soul.
But what was funny as well is there was a yeah one of the Batgirl an actor on Batgirl does call Dave Zaslav an imbecile um
Wow, there's some harsh words here.
for doing this yeah
Sure.
and it's like well
Yeah, sure. You know,
saying his cowardice is breathtaking
sure. I guess.
you know
I mean, like, I don't know who this is. I'm not
it's
defending anybody.
an yeah anonymous person who apparently worked on the film. You know, his cowardice is breathtaking. Yeah, you can feel
I
the
mean,
anger. I think the point is you can feel the anger, you can feel the disappointment from everyone involved.
yeah.
It's like
Also, yeah, yeah.
what?
Chief Brody Rules said that Batgirl was an HBO Max exclusive. I think that's even more reason for it to get taken out because it's not gonna make any any
Yeah,
money there.
yeah. Well, I guess they were hoping that would bring in subscribers, and I guess they're assuming that it's not. But I mean, at the other aspect of this, and as this links in, I think Phil, what you were saying is like the investors want to get their money back. They're worried they're not going to get it. On like a more real world level, like there is the cost of living crisis that's going on. People are, at least in the UK, you know, inflation is going up, salaries are low, people aren't able to afford stuff. It's really tough. And I'm thinking, you know, Netflix is down, streaming is not doing great in certain places, you know. I think this is a desperate, as you're saying, a desperate attempt to just quickly get some money back, to recoup some losses
Yeah, that's exactly
before
what
they're
it
any
feels like.
worse.
Yeah, that's it. I think it's as simple as that. I've been reading this wonderful book called Disney War. I don't
Mm,
know if anyone's been knows what I'm talking about, but it's pretty much sort of like a narrative that was very well researched about Michael Eisner's tenure at Walt Disney from 1984 to 2005 when he left.
mm,
And just, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but I'm just going to say that reading that made me understand the entertainment business world a little bit more. And when you're down to brass tacks, the creativity part turns into something that is unimportant. And it's like,
yeah,
we gotta slash this or we're not gonna be able to do that. I don't care if if sometimes there's exceptions, but usually it's like, sorry, art's not gonna be shown for the fact that we need to, in this case, have Warner Brothers survive.
yeah, yeah. It's hard to think Warner Brothers can't survive.
Yeah, but like, have you seen all
But
the other companies like being either eaten up by bigger ones or
yeah,
going bankrupt, like MGM, which is eaten up by Amazon, right? And
it
there's been
was. Yeah,
United, there and in older situations, there's been stuff like United Artists and Carol Co. Haha. What else? Orion. There's all this older examples. Man, Fox. Can you believe it? Fox is gone.
that's true. That's true. Fox is gone now, and that is mad.
How weird is that?
It's
Oh,
weird.
can I talk towards the mic? Ah, damn it, the stupid audio.
We've been having audio problems today, but
Yeah,
it's
we
fine.
have.
Um, but the next sort of bit, and I can hear myself in the headphones just a dash. So yeah, Kay, you were asking about our opinions on yeah, okay, so my mic is fine, cool. Yeah, no, Kay, you asked us about our opinions on Ezra Miller.
Oh no, no, no,
I mean, we got to
no, 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 no.
we got to do it.
Ah,
It
man.
was interesting the other
He was
day,
a great friend until no.
right? the the other day, all of social media was a buzz because they were like, oh, there's three options. One, he issues a statement. Two, he doesn't have anything to do with the marketing. Or three, they just scrap the film. And I mean, I was definitely in favor of scrapping the film. I'm kind of thinking you scrapped Batgirl, and that actress did nothing wrong. Like, the people involved in that film did like nothing wrong.
They did
Um,
nothing wrong.
and and then so I was like, you scrap it, just scrap it. Like the things that he has done or been accused of, I'm like, there's no coming back from this. You've like allegedly done some stuff that is insane. You've like possibly kidnapped a minor. You
I
assaulted
can't.
people and choked people and were arrested multiple times within like a short period of time. You crazy lunatic.
Like,
Like god damn it. Like it was shocking. It yeah.
he
I'm like,
issued an apology now, so it's fine, right?
I mean, that's the thing. That's what shocked me. Like Frank tweeted about it, and I laughed because it was like Frank's like, okay, so they went with option one, you know,
That's right. There were the three options, right?
yeah,
There's this
it's
great Shrek meme. There's this like video from Shrek where Farquaad is like, on this like game show, and they're telling him, like, his friends are telling him what options to pick. There's three of them, right? And he's like, option three. So there you go.
yeah. I mean, I guess the question is, I mean, Frank, you were saying you don't believe that statement that they put out. I don't believe it either. It reeks of like this is a lame attempt to shield Ezra in sort of the cloak of mental health problems, where it's like, oh, he's just mentally ill at the moment. He's got a lot of mental health
Yeah,
problems.
yeah.
No, we are told that he has kidnapped a minor. There were parents who are worried that he was grooming people. And I'm like, this is too big. This is too much controversy. And you're just trying to shroud it in like, oh, he's gonna go be fine. He's gonna go, hang out in a special facility that's gonna help him sort himself out, and that's gonna be fine. Yes, it
That's
reeks of Woody's
amazing.
waving. It reeks of Woody waving Buzz's arm and saying "to infinity and beyond." It does. It does. It's madness to me. It's absolutely madness. Um, because one of the big questions that I had, um, is has Ezra Miller's actions ruined Michael Keaton's return as Batman?
I know. I was partially interested in seeing that, but
You
whatever.
know, and it's like, well,
Whatever.
I mean, I still don't want to see the Flash. Out of principle, there's no way I am paying for that movie. They're going to release it. I'm not going to go to the cinema and see it. I don't feel that would be the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
like, maybe that's me being like virtue signaling and being a jackass, but I'm just like, why would I go see that when he is such a like? There comes a point where like an actor will cross the line, and you're like, okay, now I will not see things that you have done. I might watch something that you've previously done, but further things I will not support. And I'm like, to me, this is that line. It's like, I would love to see Michael Keaton. I was so excited to just at least see Michael
Yeah.
Keaton come back.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like, there's no way that I will see that film by handing over my money.
Yeah. I'm honestly, I have like no strong opinions. I wasn't gonna see the film anyway,
Oh,
but
you would have seen it. Come on.
I wouldn't have seen it. Why? I would only see it if you would want to see it, or if someone else wanted to see it with me. But on my own, no, I don't. I don't care. But this is a good one. There, it's sad. It's sad. I'm
It is.
bummed because Ben Affleck said he liked his role in Flash. He said it was a proper send off. But I don't want to support that film.
Well, exactly. I mean, I don't either. There's no way I'm going to support it.
I don't want
But
to
it's
support that
interesting, Frank, because I read elsewhere where they are doing reshoots or have added some more Ben Affleck to Aquaman.
Why is the Zack Snyder continuity continuing all the time? Like it just keeps limping
Yeah,
forward.
it's
It's
it
so
is
funny.
it's odd. It's like, okay, well, you have Gal Gadot, you have Aquaman. Those movies made a lot of money, so you're just going to kind of hang on to them and keep pushing films out with them, but you won't do Superman. You
I
won't
don't
do
understand. That's so baffling to me.
you won't do the Ben Affleck Batman movie when people have been calling for that for a long time and they would see it. I mean,
I
I'm
heard
quite
that Ben Affleck was just he just lost interest in it. He said it wasn't like I don't know if it was just artistically not anymore fun to do,
probably
but he just kind of I think Chief Brody Rules would know more to be
probably
fair.
probably. But yeah, so it is. You do sort of feel. I think when with the Ben Affleck kind of stepping out of his movie, I feel like, yeah, it was probably a lot of creative differences in control. I mean, happens all the time. Like, I can buy that. But it's interesting if they are adding more scenes with him in these other movies. Are they actually going to just properly bring him back? Maybe.
There you go. There you go. He already responded. There we go.
Is he? Are they going to literally just bring him back? And I think maybe that might be what they're trying to lean towards, because they clearly don't mind having multiple actors playing these characters now. You know, yes, Keaton was meant to be, but I've heard that
What an Aquaman 2 or 1?
yeah, no, the second one, but I've
Okay.
heard that Ben Affleck was reshooting scenes for Aquaman. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So basically they're switching it from Keaton to Ben Affleck then.
Yeah. So to me, it sounds like they're going to keep Ben Affleck's Batman, because if this was a send off for him, but now they're keeping him in all these things. I mean, what are they going to do?
I don't understand at all because, like, for me, my point of view is I would go to see Keaton. I really don't care to see the Affleck Batman again.
He had his
So,
chance. He had his chance.
Krypton had its chance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either. His Batman could have worked, but unfortunately, like the Snyderverse just ruined it. Like it didn't give him enough to make him fun or interesting or to, I don't know, have me engaged with his version of Batman. I just didn't give a shit. And I think this brings us to the other point. It's like the point of the topic of the show, and that's, you know, this universe is just constantly in crisis. These DC films,
Infinite Crisis.
you know, they've when have they ever just had like a good run? Like, you know, you had Wonder Woman, which was good. Then Wonder Woman 2 is a disaster. You know, then
I
you
haven't
have
seen 2.
2 is awful. It's terrible. It is really genuinely not good,
I
and that is
heard.
sad. You know, what's Chief Brody saying? I think DC can just keep doing what it's doing at this point. Just use what you like. Well, I mean, this is an interesting point. This I was saying this again off a couple days ago to Phil, and we were talking about like some of the other old like way Marvel used to be with, you know, Fox had Fantastic Four and X-Men. They just did an X-Men movie. They did a Fantastic Four movie. They weren't connected. They weren't related. You just did what you wanted with them, and that was fun. And I'm almost sort of over the shared universe thing. And I also think like on the small screen, like the Arrowverse really muddied the waters with that as well, because it just became all about their mid-season crossovers where you had 4 shows crossing over, and it was all a bit kind of unexciting and sloppy and just not very good. And I would be more than fine to just see, you know, Aquaman movie after Aquaman movie come out that has nothing to do with some lead up to the Justice League, you know, or more Wonder Woman movies that have nothing to do with connecting to anything else in like a wider universe. Because what is really interesting bringing that up is with Superman and Lois, at the end of that, in the end of the season, there's a line where Lois Lane's dad, General Lane, makes a comment about how Superman is the only hero that world has. And I was like, well, hold on. I was like, all of these actors have portrayed these characters in other shows. So wait a second. And so did some research, and what the you know the showrunners have done is they're saying this, yes, they're playing versions of those characters, but this is a different Earth. They're not on that same Earth. You know, it's a complete clean slate for them.
Mm-hmm.
Same actors,
Mm-hmm.
but clean slate. And I'm like, you know, I'm fine with that, because I don't, you know, it makes it less complicated. I don't need to worry about 6 other TV shows. And I think the films, I think the DC films would benefit from that. Because look at Marvel. Marvel's a disaster. You know,
it is now.
How many films and TV shows do you have to watch to kind of get an idea with what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, so there's a part of me that's like, you know, while I think it sucks that they've cut all this stuff, I'm also like, you know, is this, you know, could this really be a good chance for them to legitimately start over? You know, there's really nothing in the Aquaman movies that necessarily make it or need it to connect to Justice League, and they could just carry on and just do their own thing. Or maybe the Flash will be the reset. Maybe they will, you know, rebirth everything, you know, and you can keep your actors if you want, because I do think it would be great. I would happily go see a Henry Cavill Superman movie done by people who know how to do Superman.
Man of Steel wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad, but it was quite bad. And it was the problem that Man of Steel had was that it was coming off the end of Smallville. and 10 years of Smallville, and it uses a lot of elements from Smallville. The plot was literally ripped off from Smallville. The Krypton wanting to be rebirthed on Earth and Zod doing it. That was the plot of, I think, season 6.
They
right?
did that, huh?
Yeah, they literally did that. And and so there was a lot of things I was like, but this was done in Smallville and done better. And then, like, there were weird things, aesthetic things I didn't like. Krypton not being an ice planet, flying around on dragon dinosaur things.
I just went, I guess that's in the comics. I don't know.
Yeah, no, Krypton's an ice planet. It's that's why his fortress is in the Arctic, because or in the North Pole, because he's from an ice planet.
I see.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. I thought it was like a crystal planet, because like in
Yeah,
the 78 one, it looked like a crystal.
It's an ice planet. It's a white snowy.
Well, yeah. But I thought I thought those were like diamonds or crystal or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Kay says when Keaton as Batman was pretty much the best run, the Flash and Arrow shows took it too far. When Keaton was Batman. Wait, when Keaton as Batman was pretty much. I kind of get what you're saying. Keaton was the best Batman, I think, is what you're saying. And Flash and Arrow shows took. Yeah, Flash and Arrow shows did take it way too far.
So wait a second. What do they take too far?
I think they take the crossover too far.
Okay.
In my opinion, but Kay, maybe explain what you mean by that. Because I found it hard to watch Arrow and all those shows because it just became a bit. Everything was a bit samey, and I was kind of bored with it. Like the Flash, the show The Flash, every season was him fighting some bad speedster. The multiverse crossovers. Yeah, the multiverse crossovers were awful. And I mean, I gotta be honest. I watched. Go on.
So was that the one where Brandon Routh was in it? Yeah, because I was interested just because, oh wow, he's gonna play Superman again.
Yeah.
And I thought it's gonna be in this crossover thing that I don't know about. And I started watching it, and I was very confused and disappointed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, no, yeah, it was. I mean, you had to have seen like the season. I didn't know what was going on.
I don't watch any of the shows.
No,
just
I
letting
didn't.
you know.
By the time that Infinite Crisis on Infinite Earth stuff was coming out, I hadn't seen any of it in a very long time. And I was really happy because I was like, okay, they're gonna bring back Smallville. They're gonna bring back Tom Welling, and I was like, I want to see it just for Tom Welling. I want to go back to Smallville for a second.
Who do you play in Smallville?
He played Clark.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of the guy who played RoboCop for a second.
No,
that's Peter Weller.
That's Peter Weller.
My bad.
Not Tom Welling. So they brought back Tom Welling, and I was like, okay, great. This could be fun. And like the scene that he's in lasts about 30 seconds.
It was bad. I watched it. I watched that scene.
And it's like, and they bring it back for 30 seconds for him to not be Superman. For him to be a farmer.
What is this? Yeah, what is this?
He's a farmer with twins or whatever in the house with Lois, and I'm like, we watched him for 10 years grow to be the character who becomes Superman, and then 5 years later or so, whatever, how many years later, you come back to him.
It's unbelievable.
And he's back on the farm, giving up being Superman because there's other heroes who can do the job.
Unbelievable.
Shocking.
Well, yeah, shocking is definitely an appropriate word.
Which, to be honest, because of that, was another reason why when they initially announced Superman and Lois, I didn't care to watch it because I was like, no, those are the same people who screwed up Smallville. Who wiped out all the multiverses, i.e., got rid of Smallville.
Yeah.
That whole universe is gone now, according to that. But obviously now it's not, because Superman and Lois is its own universe. So the multiverse isn't gone. It's just that,
dude,
they needed
I don't understand. This is very confusing to me.
they needed a show. They needed a crossover arc that would explain why all of these shows are finally in the same universe. And that was their way to do it, and that was
But they didn't do it.
to merge the multiverses, and that's what they did.
Oh, that's what they did.
That's what they did, which
That's
is
what they
why it was
did.
confusing when this second season of Lois and Superman and Lois is like, this is our world.
Okay.
Yeah. Frank says, I like DC because you don't need to know about the other ones. It's fine. When it comes to the films, I agree.
I guess at the moment, yeah. But what movies has happened with DC? Like, all I know is Joker.
What do you got? You got Shazam.
Oh yeah, okay. So
You've got the
Shazam.
Batman.
Fair.
You've got I mean even the Suicide Squad, sort of
Yeah,
connects to the first one, but you don't need to see the first one at all,
it's also true. Yeah.
to get it. Kay says it was terrible. Yeah, they just got too lazy with the storytelling, trying to find new angles to tell the story we want to see from the comics by butchering it halfway through. I agree. It is a shame. Biffer Aquaman was Was it?
Aquaman. I've never seen it.
I don't. I've seen it, but I don't remember it. I don't remember it at all. I think it was like kind of fine. I just remember there being no chemistry between Aquaman and Amber Heard. There was. I tried really hard not to. Yeah, Aquaman. Oh God. Suicide Squad had zero connection to the first movie. Or yes, correct. Correct. It really didn't, and I was fine with that. Which is why I'm like, do your things, just do your movies. Have the actors be in them. They don't really need to lead to big crossover things. There's no point. There's no need for it. But I think this kind of brings us to like probably the last little bit about DC, and that is.
Sorry.
Go on.
No. You go.
Oh, I was just gonna say the thing is like we're kind of ragging on everything, but the one of the big differences between DC and Marvel is that they do weird shit with their movies, and you would never see Marvel do the things that DC does. I mean, Ezra Miller did turn up in The Flash, the TV show, at one point.
They wouldn't do that for their TV. Well, now it's different, but like in the past,
when things were on Netflix, you were not going to see Tony Stark rock up on Daredevil.
No. Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all. But yeah, what were you going to say?
I forgot.
Okay. Okay, so Suicide Squad was good. James Gunn was good James Gunn movie. Yes, it was. Okay, interesting. So it was a good James Gunn movie, but not a good DC movie. Explain why that is? Because I'm not going to pretend to know a lot about Suicide Squad. I read like maybe 2 comics in my life, and they were from like 2016, maybe something like that. I think so. Yeah, so I don't really know enough about Suicide Squad to determine how good the adaptation was of Suicide Squad, but I did enjoy the second movie a lot. And what I like about James Gunn, this is where he nailed it with Guardians 1, was I like the way he can mine the source material for these really D-list, if not like Z-list characters. And
still waiting for Condiment King.
Right. Yeah. One day. But I like that he can make them feel like real characters, and it's like, oh, it's interesting. You actually brought some life to these things that I didn't really expect you to do. Yeah, Frank says Joker 2. Frank says Joker 2 being a musical is amazing, so I'm down for that. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, can you imagine an Iron Man musical?
Only if there was some kind of trend in musicals. Then Disney is gonna be like, we gotta make a musical of Iron Man at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's only gonna. It's like She-Hulk. I think it's like we're at this point where everyone loves our humor, so, so we think, and we're going to do a really funny She-Hulk thing where
Yeah.
nothing is of
Yeah.
any consequence.
Yeah, no, I see She-Hulk like I would actually don't I don't I was, this is gonna be more of an insult. I was gonna say like Scrubs, but actually Scrubs is great and She-Hulk will not be great. Um, but there was like a musical episode in uh Scrubs, so I'm like I can see that happening. I could see them trying it with Loki.
I hate every god I see.
Yeah, I could see something like that. For Thor 5 will be a musical. That's what they'll
Ugh,
do
I can see
because
that, and it's so lame, man.
they just don't care about Thor at all. They've given up on him. He
Have
had
you
one.
seen Thor? Have you seen Thor? No, me either.
No, I really don't. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen Doctor Strange. I haven't seen any of them. Because I can't do it. I can't do it. But again, yeah, Joker 2 being a musical. I mean, at first I was like, that's ridiculous. That's insane. But then it's like, then you have Lady Gaga who's going to play Harley Quinn, and I'm like, Lady Gaga's amazing.
I'm gonna see it. Yeah, no,
Like,
no, totally.
she's like a perfect person to play a musical version of Harley Quinn. Like, I can really see that. And I think the thing that kind of, and this is what I thought about the first Joker movie. This is where things become interesting with DC, and that is Joker was this first attempt to just do something completely out of continuity of the Snyderverse and just see if people ran with it, right? And they did, and it was
That movie
decent.
made money.
It made money. It was decent. I always felt like Joker was another movie repurposed into a DC movie. I do feel like someone had watched, Taxi
Mm-hmm.
Driver and did sort of an
King of
updated
comedy.
King of Comedy, both of those, and sort of tried to do an update on them. And then a producer said, "Make this the Joker with a cigar. Make this the Joker." You know, and I feel like it's no. This is in my head, right? And because I always felt like it doesn't need to be Joker. It doesn't need to be DC, but it is. And I feel like that with Joker too. Like these are really interesting ideas. A psychiatrist who falls in love with her wackadoo patient, and they go off on some kind of criminal spree. Like you don't actually need Joker and
They
Harley
don't
Quinn,
have to be Harley Quinn or the Joker. Yeah.
right? But the fact that they're doing it with these people, with these characters, I think it is bizarre, but it is unique, and I do have to give props for them attempting to do things that are inconsistent with whatever brand that they're trying to do or build. You know, like I said, you won't see Marvel doing that, and
Huh. But Luke, aren't you excited for Blade? Finally, Blade's coming home.
ugh,
Blade. I
Blade.
love Blade.
No,
I love Blade.
I have no interest in seeing that. No, I mean, like we said last week, like this is phased by. Like
Yeah.
anything that they push out, like will we watch She-Hulk? Maybe Claire and I will watch it. Maybe.
I'm
I'm
probably
not gonna.
not
It
gonna.
comes out tomorrow. I'm not gonna go out of my way to see it.
Ugh.
You know. We will see. We will
Looks like
see.
there's
Yeah,
criminal activity happening over there, Luke.
there is all these criminals who live around here. Lady Gaga was in Top Gun too. Was she in it, or was she just did the song? She wasn't
She
in
just
it
did the
though.
song. I don't remember her being in it.
Or she wasn't in it. But I think
Goodness
that's. But I think
gracious,
that's.
great balls of fire.
Oh.
Ba, ba, ba.
Yes, DC need to rework. Need to do rework movie scripts. I'm okay with that.
Lol.
Lol. Yeah, they do. They do. They do. Just the songs. Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. And the thing is, like, the other thing that I did quite like and I found interesting now is that, like, with the Batman, you know, it was fascinating to me that you had Robert Pattinson's Batman come out at the same time. Well, Ben Affleck's Batman was still happening. That was still meant to be a thing. And then they bring Robert
Sure.
Pattinson's Batman in at the same time. And I was like, and you know, then at this point you also have two Jokers because you have wackadoo Jared Leto,
That's
um,
great.
and then you had Walking Phoenix, and you're like, okay, so they are doing multiple. This is interesting. And you got Flash on TV, Flash on a movie, and it made me feel excited, but also a little bit annoyed.
Annoyed.
Um, yes, because I was like, you know what, you guys, you wouldn't let Tom Welling be Superman.
Oof, don't. Let's. Maybe it's just a complete different set of studio chairmen.
Well, I think it is. I think that's a big thing. But
But
yeah,
that is
they
such injustice.
it is.
Gods
I know.
Among Us. Sorry,
Yeah, I
title.
know that Tom Welling never wanted to wear the suit, which is a big
Never.
thing. And yeah, and the show promised that he would never wear the suit. So I know that that's part of it.
That's
But
odd.
well, the thing was meant to be Clark's story. Once he
Sure.
becomes Superman, the show's over. Now, he doesn't put on the suit until the last episode, and it's not even until like the last 10 minutes or 5 minutes of the last episode.
Yeah.
But even with that, like they just showed like weird headshots where he wasn't really wearing the suit properly.
I remember
Um,
this whole thing. I remember that I've never seen Smallville really, but I remember just seeing a guy's reaction on YouTube about with the last episode, the final 10 minutes. It was
yeah,
the best.
yeah,
Yeah, America the Beautiful. Oh yeah,
America,
this is so good.
America,
Yeah, it was great.
America.
Bless
Yeah,
that
that
man.
was insane. That was
Uh,
insane. I do wish we could have seen just a scene with him in the suit. And there was a thing that came out that was like, we can't have him in a suit because at that point they were prepping for Man of Steel,
yeah.
and they're like,
How's
people will get confused, and I'm like, you got 30 Batmans now.
yeah? They've
No
always
one's
had 30
confused.
Batmans. No, no. It's just such injustice. I felt like such what a tragedy for everybody watching that show. And
I think that's a thing. I understand why the actors might not want to do it, but there is a thing where you do need to do a little bit of fan service, and I think fans 10 years were waiting for Superman and got a headshot. Um, Chief Brody says, "Talk about Batman. I find it so weird that an unoriginal movie plot is so watchable. It's weird. The Batman is weird
are you
because
talking about Batman or the Batman?
I
What
think he's
chief?
yeah. I think you're
Be a
talking about
little
the Batman
more be a little more specific there. I don't know.
because I don't think he's talking about Michael Keaton's Batman.
No,
Um,
that's a bit far off.
he's
Did you
talking
know
about
that what's his name? Jack Nicholson like got a huge percentage
yeah,
off of Batman.
yeah.
Was it worth it? Like to hire him? I don't know. If I was, I don't know. I'm pretty sure even probably Tim Burton had the same thoughts. Like, is it worth having Jack Nicholson in this movie?
I mean,
Eh,
Jack Nicholson's Joker is the second most
fine.
iconic Joker.
It's fine.
It's not just fine.
My
That's
face on the $1 bill. I don't know.
that's oversimplifying it. I mean, he's not just fine. Like his Joker set the modern template.
You sure it wasn't just the Killing Joke from
No,
Malamore?
no, not at
That came out
all.
before.
It doesn't matter. No
I don't
way.
know.
No
Like,
way.
okay, I'm not arguing about this. We're talking about Batman. Let's go. Let's go. The Batman, right? So Chief Brody.
Only Phil is putting the stick in this. Anyway, so yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
let's go back to this
You
comment.
you got me. You got me. You got me, man. Um.
Would Mark Hamill be the best? I am only referring to
There's room for more.
there's room for more, and I'm only really referring to on-screen live adaptation. Live adaptation.
Yeah.
I think
But I was
animated. Mark Hamill is the best,
It's a
probably.
little difficult to judge for sure, but like to make comparisons. But at the same time, I always feel like you can always say one actor does the best portrayal of something. But at the same
Yeah.
time, does it have to be a contest like that? I sometimes, as I got
No.
older, I'm just like, you can always have the opinions. You
Yeah.
can always have the opinions. We can always argue about them. But anyway, I
Yes.
digress.
So
The
again,
Batman, weird that it's an unoriginal movie plot is so watchable. It's
mm,
weird. Well, I feel like that's where the execution comes in. And the execution, if the story and the plot is like when you read it, you're just like, that's kind of boring. But then when you watch it and you're still engaged, that just means that it was well executed for what it is, and you can still watch it. There's something that keeps your eyes onto the screen.
there was something about there was
'Cause
something about Batman. There was something about Robert Pattinson Bat, and I think one of the things that I liked about it was
do, do,
it put Bruce in the cupboard and pretty much left him there the whole film. We
do.
didn't we
Left in
didn't
there the
need
whole
to
film.
yeah, we didn't need to worry about Bruce Wayne. We didn't have Bruce Wayne drama. And I was like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
yeah.
Because like from now that you're mentioning, I've only seen it once in cinemas, right? But
Yeah.
when I'm thinking about it, my impression of Bruce Wayne in that film is just that he's letting life pass him by, but it's just Batman that's taken over,
Yeah.
and it's just that single-minded,
Yeah.
I am not going to eat well, I'm not going to do anything to myself as long as I'm physically fit enough to go out there and become the knight.
Become the knight.
you
Yeah.
know
I
and
think
that's great. We've not had that before. I love Christopher Nolan's and Christian Bale's take. I've never disliked it.
no.
But it's a split between, right. There's Bruce Wayne Batman,
Yeah.
and then all the other movies did the same thing with
Yeah.
Keaton and Kilmer and Clooney.
Yeah, Keaton's I think does a better job and has less Bruce, but when Bruce is on camera in Burton's film, he is
Yeah,
more interesting. He is more interesting.
yeah.
Sure.
He's definitely, he has some eccentricities that have just been missing after the Schumacher movies.
Oh god, yeah. And I think yeah, so I think but the Batman is also interesting because there's a lot that I like, but then there is also a lot that I dislike. And I think,
Yeah,
I think the plot
I mean that's what Luke that's what Chief Brody's saying. He's saying that the plot isn't particularly mind-blowing, but it's still interesting to watch.
yeah. And I think part of that is the aesthetic. And I think them sort of leaning more than any other Batman movie, finally leaning into the noir aspects of Batman. This sort of dark, grimy. Everything's been dark and grimy, but this particular sort of hard-boiled approach,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
To
Where Batman literally knocks at the door of the club and asks to come in.
yes,
You
yes,
know, and like we've never seen outside of Adam West, we've never seen the cops and Batman working together. You
yes,
know, I actually really like that. I
yeah,
really like that because
yeah.
it's different and it's something. It's a relationship that's always been in the comics, even if you don't read any like me, and I know that it's there, and it goes back to just detective, like being a detective and detecting things and making things like that, and the fact that he is just Batman. And it's not that at the end he learns to be more Bruce Wayne. Maybe he does a little bit, but at the end, I like that. I really like that flip,
Mhm.
because the flip of this is that he's vengeance the entire time, but then he learns maybe I can also be quote unquote a hero as well. Like an
Absolutely,
example. And I
yeah.
think that that's such a nice reversal of the Batman movies we've seen before.
Yeah, I do think that they could have developed that plot line a little bit
Oh
better,
yeah, no, yeah,
but
it was just at the end, of course. Like that's the climax. I think everyone kind of has some kind of semblance of being like, You know that third act.
Yeah, yeah. The third act is by far the worst. But yeah, but I think, like you were saying, his relationship with the cops, he really is working as a PI, a rogue out there, figuring out what's going on, trying to solve this puzzle. And I think that seeing him, yeah, as Kay says, actually being a decent detective, pretty decent, okay detective, in this, made it more engaging because again, it's something that we haven't really seen in the movies. Yeah. Sorry, Frank. I said Um, um, we didn't see it. We didn't see it in Nolan's films. That was such a lame attempt at it, and we don't really see it in
Not at all.
Keaton either.
No.
But so I liked that we had those moments, and I liked their version of the broodiness. But I think there's just a lot of stuff I would have trimmed out of the film. But again, I think just seeing it be him against some non hyper gangsters, you know, um, there's no Joker from Keaton's Batman. There's no kind of grand over the top thing. There's no uh, what's his face Scarecrow sort of mobby thing going on. It was a bit more street level, I guess. And I think
We're from the streets,
from the
as
streets.
the producer John Peters said to Kevin Smith when he asked him to write the script for Superman. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. This is a great story. Yeah, about Superman Lives, I think, and Kevin Smith was being asked by John Peters, who was the producer for Batman. And he's like, "You and me, we're from the streets. We need Superman to be from the streets." It's great. It's
No, we
good
don't.
stuff.
That
Did I
is the
say John
last
Peters? I
place.
said John Peters, right?
I don't know. He just put that, so I thought,
Oh,
okay, maybe
okay.
I'll put that
Well,
because
Chief Brody
I'm
knows.
not
He
sure.
knows.
Yeah. Uh, so no, so yeah, so the Batman was fun, and it while it being like very unoriginal, but still sort of interesting and sort of engaging. I do want to see a sequel.
Bum 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 bum
Yeah.
bum 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 bum
Okay.
bum
So I mean,
bum.
because I think, yeah, I think I am interested to see where they could develop this, because I would like to see this version of Batman, this sort of grittier version, more noir version, more hard-boiled version, um, in a plot where he is a bit
From
more
the
put
street.
together. A bit more, yeah, a bit more put together. Um, Less mopey, less emo. He can still be broody and still have that sort of hard-boiled broodiness, but just less mopey. You
Right.
know, that's something I would like to see.
I
We'll
agree.
see.
We'll
We'll
see what
see.
happens. We'll see what happens. I like that. So Chief Brody Rose, wait a second. It was used in Licorice Pizza, really? Like the whole John Peters situation. Interesting.
What was
So
you?
I have an honest question to ask. Should I watch Licorice Pizza or not? That's the big question.
I've never seen it.
It's the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie, Luke.
I know
Paul
about it,
Thomas Anderson.
but I've never seen it. I think didn't Red Letter Media do a review on it? Because I feel
Of
like
course they
maybe I
did.
watched that. But they did or didn't.
They didn't. They did. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the review
I think
either.
maybe they. I think maybe I'll have to look at it. I'll look it up. But I think maybe they did, because I
Uh,
do remember. I remember seeing some review of it somewhere. No, RLM did not. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I think I've seen a review of it somewhere. But I don't know anything about it. So yeah, should Phil see it? Let us know.
well, Chief Brody Rules says yes, watch it. So guess I
Does
will.
it? Oh yes, Phil, watch it. There it is. I see it at the top. Yeah. What questions did chat? What questions do you have? We'll open it up to you now, even though we've been talking to you the whole time.
Yeah, it's been fun. I like it. It's nice.
We were not too mean on DC. I don't think. I think
We're
Frank
not.
was expecting me to just like really rip DC apart.
What can you
Um,
say that hasn't been said? I don't know. Like, I just, by the way, Frank, I listened to an explanation of what the potential future movies after Justice League were going to be that were kind of planned out by Zack Snyder. And they actually
mm,
sounded pretty good.
what was it?
Honestly, it was like the next one would be a Batman movie, just Batman, where he gets taken into Arkham because, like,
Mm,
for some reason, and then he has to fight himself his way out. But all of the, but he has to fight through most of the bad guys that he stuck in there. You know, in the
okay,
first
so
place.
like the raid.
Yeah. But with Bruce Wayne, and I think that that's kind of cool. And that sounded interesting because like that's a good reversal of like instead of building up different villains like they do in with Marvel, they already have them there.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting one. And then there was like the two Justice League movies where Bruce, what was it? Was it Bruce and Lois's son, or was it Kal El's
You mean
and
Clark and
Lois's son?
Lois?
I hope it's Clark and Lois, but I've heard two versions. And he
Okay.
comes, and Clark and Lewis's son comes from the future.
Lois.
And also, sorry, Lois, not Lewis. Sorry, Lois. Do you remember the Fleischer Superman cartoon? That is in
Long
my
time.
head. So nostalgic. Lois. And then they go like there's the one where there's this like eagle-headed cult from like underground in the volcano and they do this dance and it's freaky and I remember watching it on VHS and it's like such a nostalgic moment for me what, you know. And
Mm,
Superman fights those guys, kicks their asses, but in the Fleischer Superman his powers are incredibly like mild, you know. Yeah, he's strong. Yeah, he can, you know, he's faster than a locomotive, you know, and or was it more powerful than a locomotive?
more powerful, yeah.
Phil rented that Superman. I was given it when I was like 5. That's where it's from. Sorry. Yeah, but no, I watched all the Simpsons by renting all the seasons from the Anderson Library.
There you go. Have we watched anything interesting lately?
I didn't finish my Superman thing where it
Oh
was
yeah, go on.
Lois and Clark's baby comes from the future because of Flash's time travel thing, right? This is
Mm-hmm,
Justice
mm-hmm,
League 2
mm-hmm.
or 3. No, it's 3 cuz Justice League 2 that's where Superman actually no, that's where Batman dies. That's what it was. Batman dies in Justice League 2. And in Justice League 3, I think Clark and Lois's son comes. He's an adult, but he's not Superman. He's Batman. He decided to be Batman.
Okay.
And I was like, but all of these ideas are kind of interesting, honestly. Because the
It's a
second
little
movie is, yeah,
it's a little bonkers, but I mean, I would.
I liked it. It sounds bonkers as hell, but it's great.
The problem is Zack Snyder, and he is a terrible storyteller. He's
Yeah, I
good
mean,
visually at times, but like, ugh, Watchmen is the only
Lois,
film of his that I
Lois.
like. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
that's about it. For
I haven't seen more outside of those 4 movies that he made.
mm-mm. No.
Anyway, what were we saying? What were we talking about?
Well, Frank was asking if we've watched anything uh, interesting recently, and I mean, I've been talking about Superman and Lois, and that's the most interesting thing that I probably watched. What I am doing though is I'm currently reading Infinity War.
Like the original one,
Yeah, the comic.
the
Reading
one
the
with
comic.
Adam.
Yeah, Adam Warlock and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, Adam
Yeah,
Warlock.
yeah.
I I
Um,
didn't read it. I just watched someone explain it to me.
okay, fair enough. I'll probably do that afterwards.
I wanted to
Um,
know.
I'm only like two issues into it, but yeah, no, I like it so far. It's been sort of fun. Um, I love it. See, the thing is, I love it in the comics when, because there's this really fun scene where the Human Torch lands on the Fantastic Four building, and excuse me, Ben Grimm is out there waiting for him, and he's, the Human Torch is like, "What the heck's going on?" He's like, "Oh, come on, we got to get inside." He's like, "Oh, who's here?" And Ben Grimm's like, "Who isn't here?" And like they go inside, and like you got like that's when you have this cool scene, like Professor X is there, like they're all there, everyone is
Yeah.
there, and
Yeah.
like it's like it's one of those things like I like it in this context, like it's fun on the page, it's even fun
Yeah.
in the in a cartoon. um Live action, to me, I just don't like it. I don't like it. I get bored. It's like overstimulation, but like on the page, it works so well.
Right.
But I'm super intrigued because like you got Thanos who's out there like trying to. He's just arrived at Adam Warlock's base and he's like, I want to partner with you. But then you also have Doctor Doom and Kang who have just agreed to team up, and
That's right. Right.
and
Right.
there's a part of me that's like, you know what? In the way that DC films just jump in now, I would be fine with it if Marvel just jumped in. If they just take it, if they should have just taken a break, like we've said before. But like if they just jumped in, like here's a big film that has all these characters, and as long as they're well established and defined, then people would be on board with it. I was like,
Yeah.
you can have a film that has Doctor Doom, Kang, and Thanos in one big epic movie, as long as it's well planned and
Yeah.
well written.
Yeah. As long as it's
You
well
don't
planned
need
and well written.
not everything has to be this big giant build up. And I don't know. I was reading it. And I was just like, this is really cool. Like they're just all here, and it's fine and it's fun and not annoying.
And
But
not
yeah,
annoying.
so far that's something interesting that I have been
Wow,
reading,
interesting. So
but
the
watching was
Infinity War.
yeah. And I've never read it
Is it?
before, so yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
All right.
also I don't have it here with me. Oh, I also got this to read. Uh, Wolverine, Enemy of the State.
Is it a recent one, or is it
Recent in that this was like 2011 ish,
okay?
10ish. It's I'm told that it's one of the last really good runs. Because I stopped buying comics
Yeah.
in 2011. The last big crossover I bought was X-Men's Second Coming. I really enjoyed that, but then afterwards, most of the stuff that came afterward, you could feel a decline. That was when a lot of things were changing at Marvel and stories were becoming more
Mm-hmm.
political, and there was a lot of cheapness
Political.
happening. Yeah, and so I was like, I'm done. Gonna put you aside. I'm done. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I'm excited to read this though. Enemy of the State, I think should be. I'm told it's
Interesting.
good, and
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. So is this like one of the? Have you read all the other ones?
Well, I read all. I've not read every Wolverine comic, um, but I've
But
read a
you've
lot
read
of
like at
Wolverine.
Weapon X, you know, like
Oh
that
yeah,
kind
yeah. I've
of.
got Weapon X, and I've got some of my Weapon X. Is one of my favorites. I also
But
really like
I heard it
Origin.
was. Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
I heard that
What'd you say?
Weapon X. I heard that Weapon X was literally just Wolverine having a dream and escaping and killing everybody, and then waking up from it and then killing everybody and escaping.
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of you know, it's a lot of visual stuff happening. It's not yeah, pretty much. Bye, Frank.
Bye, Frank. Bye. Bye.
Enjoy your
Thank you for being
evening.
here.
Thanks. But
Thank you
yes,
so
that was.
much.
Have you what have you watched District 9? I guess that's something that
District
you've done.
9, the prawns.
Is there anything on the horizon? Anything on the horizon that you're interested in seeing anytime soon?
We watched Predator again.
We did.
I think we talked about that.
Oh, I think we did.
I don't know. Let me think about this. Like, it seems like I'm just taking it as it comes along. I don't know. Like, it's like a sushi, you know,
Oh yeah,
conveyor
like the
belt.
little conveyor. But
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Once something shows up, might be interesting. I'll see it. But it's so interesting that like I think this year has been the year where it just feels like everything ran on empty for me, as far as my interest for something in the future that's a movie or a show or a
Don't you
what.
dare, Top Gun.
Oh, well, that I wasn't like it wasn't something I was
Okay,
looking forward to. That's a thing that came up and was a surprise. I was not
fair enough.
expecting it to be this good. Every time the
Fair enough.
trailers showed up, remember how long those trailers like it was like for the past 3 years the trailers were playing and it's like coming soon and I'm just like I this movie's not going to be any good. You know how wrong I was.
How wrong you were. How wrong you were. Okay, dare I ask about The Walking Dead? I have never seen The Walking Dead
Me either. Me
or
either.
read The Walking Dead.
Right. I watched people play the game, which is pretty
Yeah,
good. So there you go.
something I do want to do is
A
I
zombie
have
movie.
never no, but I have never seen fully. And I know I was quite negative about it in the past, trying it once, but I've never watched Breaking Bad, and I never watched
Mm-hmm.
Better Call Saul. And everyone has been really praising Better Call Saul, and
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it would be worth trying to watch it now, because I'm in a much different headspace than what I would have been however many years ago Breaking Bad came out. I think I was still in the States when Breaking Bad came out. So it was a very long time ago. And my tastes have changed quite a bit since then.
Right.
Um, so I might go check it out. I might check it out, because it's something I haven't seen. It's also quite popular, and now I can freely watch it without the hype.
The hype.
I can I
Yeah.
can watch it post. I can watch it post hype. How do you find Breaking Bad season 1? K? How are you
Because I've
finding it?
seen I've seen all the way up till season 3. I remember I watched it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I watched it 7, 8 years ago. So it's a while ago.
Yeah.
Um, Watched it like, and yeah, I just wanted to see it to go through it to see if it was as good as people always said it was, and it was good. It's just that I couldn't like. It's just, it just wasn't my thing. So
Yeah.
I didn't go further, not because it was bad, but just because it wasn't my thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That was definitely part of my problem is that I wasn't my thing, but I'm like, maybe it just wasn't my thing at the time.
Maybe.
Maybe it would be my thing now. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, no, I mean Bryan Cranston, yes. For what I've seen of him in that show, he is great. But he is just great in general. He is a terrific actor. Um
He's really good in Godzilla.
he was good in Godzilla. What a waste. What a waste. What a total poor waste that was. Um should we talk a little bit about what we have planned for the future?
The future.
For all three people who are watching.
I don't want your future.
I don't want your view. You abandoned us all. Love that. I quote that all the time. You abandoned me. You abandoned us all. I don't know why. I love that
Yeah, it's
line.
great.
That's a good exchange. That's X-Men Days of Future Past. Love it.
Yeah.
So next week, I'm very excited about this.
Special episode next week.
So we're gonna start doing some specials where we bring guests on to have conversations with us about all
Gaston.
sorts
We're
of
gonna bring
different
Gaston.
topics.
No
Yes.
one shoots like Gaston. Takes three
So
shots.
next week, August 24th, we are bringing on Bonnie McBird. If you don't know who Bonnie McBird is, she is the original writer of Tron, the original Tron film. And she also writes Sherlock Holmes novels for HarperCollins. So she is going to join us next week to talk about the writing process of Tron, what that research process was like, how it developed from script to screen, what the changes were,
Mm.
that whole process. What the maybe she'll dive into some of the original concepts of what the movie was going
Yeah, what was it supposed to be?
be.
Because I heard that it changed quite a bit.
It did. There's a lot of changes. So we're going to bring her on to kind of uh, yeah, have her talk about her experience working on Tron, which I think will be really fun. But then also hear about her new books and stuff like that she has coming out. Um, just another little bit of a kind of further glimpse into the future. Um, September 3rd, which is a Saturday, we're going to do a one-off Saturday show because that's going to be we're going to have seen Rings of
The water
Power,
park. Oh yeah, that's right. Rings of Power.
and we're going to
Oh man.
Love Me and Despair.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be so great. I'm gonna be so honestly, like this is what I'm thinking it's gonna be. I'm just gonna be so bored.
We'll
I think
see.
that's what it's gonna be. I'm gonna be bored and it's gonna go and it's gonna start and go. And then that's all it's gonna be. And I'm just like, yeah, they did this wrong and that wrong, and it's like this is what we've been waiting for 4 years.
I'm going to be more energetic than that. Because I want to be more energetic than that. But yeah,
Sure.
so it's going to be fun and it's going to be funny, and I have my expectations are so low that I just cannot wait to watch it now and just cringe and laugh at it because I just maybe it will surprise me, maybe it'll be good. It's not gonna be, but yeah.
No.
So that'll be that week. And then and another guest we're gonna bring on in mid September is
Yeah.
an author named David Bishop, who he's done a lot of writing for Doctor Who, Judge Dredd, Heroes Reborn, whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And that week we're gonna kind of dissect, look at the old Judge Dredd movies, the first one
Yeah, I'm
and the new
excited
one,
about that
and
one.
yeah, see what he thinks about them, and is it a shame that the Dredd 2 2012 movie never got a sequel? So yeah, we got a lot of really
It's a
cool guests
shame.
lined up.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you
we
right
got a
now,
lot
it
of
is a shame.
it is a shame, but we'll dive into that later. But yeah, so we got a lot of really cool guests coming over the next few months, and a lot of really fun topics like Lord of the Rings, and we'll make fun of probably make fun of Andor.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Andor, ridiculous. Can't
I
believe
was
that
in
guy's got
this
his.
battle even
How
before
does,
you were born.
how does this guy have his own show? Gosh,
Something's up. Something's up. The
something.
trailer does look better than the other two, though. The last one, anyway.
I didn't see. I don't think I've seen the last one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all
Slightly
about
better.
I guess before we sort of start wrapping it up and go, I would just say, just if you haven't, hit the like button,
Yeah. Do
and if
it.
you
Do
haven't
it. Do it.
subscribed, subscribe, and also share with your friends. Uh,
Please.
Share, because we want people to come hang out with us like you guys.
Share. Yeah.
Um, okay, yeah, Path, yeah, as an avid on the radio, yeah, there we go.
All right.
Yeah, no, I cool. Well, make sure you're with us on the
Yeah.
14th of
On the
September.
14th, especially considering I've never read any 2000 AD comic, and
Mhm,
I've only seen Dread, the 2012 movie. I've not
mhm.
seen the original, so I'm not very familiar with the character, but I do feel like I have a sense of what the tone is. So it's going to
Yeah.
be an interesting conversation considering I don't know anything.
But Phil and I, we are going to watch the Sylvester Stallone movie.
Sure,
We've
yeah, we're going to do that
because
beforehand. If
I've never seen the original Dredd movie, the original Judge Dredd, but I had some action figures from it, and
Ha,
I remember it was one of those films that I wanted to see. I really wanted to see it because I liked the way he looked. It had like a RoboCop vibe, and I really wanted to, but my parents never took me. I never got to see it. I think it might have, was it rated R?
I don't know, man. I don't
Might have been
think
PG
so.
13, but it's been such, yeah. But yeah, so I am excited to actually finally see this. I've always wanted to, never have, but I've always had these little action figures that come the end of this month, my sister who's visiting from the States is going to bring.
It's good.
So
They're finally back.
I'll have no space, but I will try to put more more figures in my shelf one way or another. Rob Schneider is Comic Relief Gold. Yeah, I'm assuming he's in the original Dread because I don't remember. Yeah, it will
Yeah,
be.
Rob Schneider.
Yeah, what are you
Twitch,
doing
Twitch.
yawning like that?
Sorry, man, I'm
The
tired.
mojito just got right to your
It
head.
really did. Like, I don't drink much alcohol, and this kind of got me a little tipsy. And this is just 4.7% alcohol, and what is this? This is like
4 places of alcohol. And
4.7% alcohol. I don't know. I'm just lightweight.
Crikey! I mean, I had a bit of whiskey last week, and I didn't have anything this week. But yeah, there we go. Yeah, we still got 5 people watching. I mean, if you have any other questions for us, now would be the time
Speak
to
now, forever hold your peace. Until next.
to ask them. But I will say, just to kind of cap off the DC stuff, you know, it's such a weird franchise. It's such a weird franchise, and I do appreciate that they take more risks than Marvel.
Of course.
You know, again, I think a Joker musical is bonkers, but
I'd
I'm
rather
intrigued.
have that than the Kang Dynasty or whatever they're making.
Oh yeah, no, I have no interest in that. I have no interest in that. That's going to be another one of those big cameo movies where they bring back Tony Stark from a different universe. And he's alive. Yeah, that's all that's going to be. They'll bring 616 Tony Stark in, whatever. But yeah, so that's interesting, and I mean, I'm interested to see how they develop Robert Pattinson's Batman. I would like to see a tighter, more interesting version of that character.
Hopefully no Joker. I think we've done the Joker enough.
Oh God, forgot about that. You know, I wish I would talk about that when Frank was here. Yeah, I completely forgot about the Joker. That was so tacked on and so stupid and unneeded.
I forgot about the Joker being in the movie. I totally forgot about that. I honestly did. I would just mention the Joker because.
Oh right, shit. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah, that was a bad idea. Don't do that. Don't do them. Just leave it. Leave them alone, please. Do Mudface or Clayface or whatever the heck his name is.
Would love Clayface. I think that's a great opportunity. Hush. No one does Hush. Hush would be great.
I'm not clued up on Hush. I read it once. I didn't really get it.
I know, but it's like Batman's opposite kind of deal. It's kind of cool. I think that's.
But I think there were clues to Hush in the movie. People talked about it. People who know things about that talked about that.
Okay.
So maybe there is a bit more, and then yes, Phil was down with the Green Dragon. I'd like to see the Colin Farrell as Penguin again in a DC movie. Yes, I do not care about a show.
No. Why?
They're doing one, or they're meant to be doing one.
Well,
I'm just like Yep. Colin Farrell. Yep. And I'm just like, oh, I don't really think it's that interesting. Maybe, but
I'm just wondering, like, if you strip down the Penguin as just like a mobster, which is what he was.
Yeah.
In the Batman.
Yeah.
Like, you know, sometimes these villains are fun because of their eccentricities. You know, I think that's mostly the reason why they're so fun to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know, like having a show with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was why I never got into Gotham, because I'm just like,
yeah,
I don't care about seeing a show about all the Batman villains without Batman. I don't care to see. I mean, Jim Gordon was.
They're not even the villains. They're just before they turned the villains. Most of them, right?
Some of them were the villain, and it was weird. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. It got muddy. That show got muddy. That was and I you know me. I always have the problem of, man, you can probably hear that car squeaking outside.
Oh, I thought it was a bat. I thought just a bat started like flying in the house, and then you just
really
like, it's an inspiration. I am going to dress as a bat and strike fear into the hearts of criminals and bad neighbors.
Yeah, no, I you know me. I never enjoy mostly never, but most of the time I don't enjoy some sort of show or film that is about the universe of someone else, of the protagonist, like the Bourne Legacy. I don't want to see a Bourne movie without Jason Bourne.
What's the point?
What's the point?
What's the
Exactly.
point?
I
Yeah,
don't
I
want to
feel
see
the same with
Gotham without
yeah,
Batman.
yeah.
Simple as
Joker
that.
was okay, but at the same time,
Joe, yeah, that was one of my big skeptical. That's why I was skeptical about Joker at first. I was like, there is no Batman. I, he's not as interesting without, and I don't think he is. This is why I'm like,
mm,
I kind of divorce the idea of this film being DC and him being the Joker. I'm just like, he's
mm-hmm.
just some crazy guy, like, because the other stuff doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so Case says, last thing we'll say, my guys keep trying to get me to watch Gotham, but it's just not for me yet. I don't think it might not ever will be.
Might not
It
ever will be.
never landed for me. As much as I tried, yeah, it wasn't for me. It's kind of like most of the CW. Speaking of the CW, this is the last thing I want to talk about, real quick. It was reported that the average age of people watching the CW. Do you know what the CW is, Phil?
It's a channel.
Yeah, with all the shows like Riverdale and The Flash
Yeah.
and things like that. The average age of people watching is 58 years old.
What? What? 58?
58 years old.
58 is the average for the CW?
For the CW, the average age is 58 years old. So people watching Riverdale, Sabrina, all those the Flash, Arrow, all those like teen dramas with 30-year-olds pretending to be teenagers.
I guess
is apparently 58 years old.
I guess that it's just the remnant of the people who used to watch that stuff in the 90s then.
That's what I said. I tweeted about it because I was like, this to me, it's like
Wow.
this means like everyone who was watching the WB in the 90s, like
Yes, there
they
you
just
go.
never left.
They
They
never
just
left.
never left. There you
Oh
go.
my gosh. These are certain types of groups of people that I'm a little bit afraid to even hear about sometimes.
There it is. There it is. Oh wait, let me zoom in.
Wow. 58 years old.
I'm not making it up. 58-year-olds are watching these. It's so weird.
So the network will shift its demographic focus to correspond with that since it's currently the lowest rated network on broadcast. Whoa. So there aren't even that many 58-year-olds.
Say again.
There aren't even that many 58-year-olds.
I know, right?
Wow.
But it's one of those things like they want to shift their focus to hit that demographic. Well, this demographic is clearly watching the weird shit that you're putting on.
I know.
So
they're clearly the
what
ones
do you need to
keeping
change?
you afloat. Yeah.
Like what? I mean, unless shifting the demographic focus means they're going to just produce more teen bop dramas with sorcery and superheroes
So
because
great.
apparently
It's so funny.
that's what
That's
58-year-olds are watching.
That's like a whole like genre on its own. It's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for 58-year-olds, close to being retired. Wow.
It makes me wonder, like, what's the age demographic of people watching Lifetime?
I know.
16?
Oh,
58.
man.
58 years old. God, that's hilarious. Holy shit. It's just so funny to me because I guess we are in our 30s, so I was watching Smallville back when I was 12, and here we are, 58 years old, 58-year-old, I don't know, I cannot remember what was on the WB in the 90s. I cannot remember at all what was on at that time, but I'm like just thinking all these people that were.
Seventh Heaven.
Oh my god, yes, Seventh Heaven. Holy, yes. You know what that means? That means because literally, I'm actually quite serious about this. That means it is people like our parents' demographic who were watching that network in that time, who have just hung around and kept watching shows on that network. I'm
Yes.
just trying to imagine like my parents watching Riverdale or Sabrina. Like that is just the most
That doesn't sound
cringeworthy,
surprising.
gross thing. So
I mean, it doesn't sound surprising to me. It sounds like, yeah, it works out, it checks out. I don't know. I don't know your parents, but like it just seems, from what I've heard, it seems like, yeah, Riverdale, sure. It has vampires and family
oh
drama.
no,
I don't know.
they wouldn't get into that. They would not be into that at all.
Okay.
No way.
Okay.
No.
Oh, hey,
No.
hey,
They.
Turlock.
Hey.
This is at the end of the show, unfortunately. So we're done. I'm really tired. As you can tell, I'm sinking in my seat. We had an
I know
interesting talk.
you should sit up and breathe in deep because we're just getting our second win because Turloff's here and Path is still here and Kay's still here and a few other people. Um,
I'm
yeah,
tired.
I'll give us another thing to talk about actually, but you need to sit up. Stop slouching in
Okay.
your chair like you're some sort of bum. Um, Jurassic World
Oh, shut
Dominion
up. Shut up. I hate this movie.
extended edition, 15 extra minutes of movie.
How
What
much?
are your thoughts?
How much? 15?
15.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so first of all, we watched Jurassic World and it was so bad. I was looking at the like I was looking at how much we had left. Like it was that bad. Like that kind of bad. And if I'd rank Jurassic Park, the whole series, it's a perfect like first one's the best, last one's the worst. It's like a
Yeah.
perfect ladder down. It's like literally first
Yes.
great, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Is there a
Yeah.
seventh? I don't remember.
No.
Okay. And to have a 15 extra minutes, it's gonna be the stupidest 15 extra minutes you'll ever see. I'm guarantee it. Guarantee it's gonna be rubbish. Because every time someone says, "Oh, the movie wasn't very good, but there's gonna be an extended version, and that will clear everything up," they're all lying. They're all cowards and liars and people who like lying to themselves because of their freaking in what do you call that the in insecurities about liking something that is clearly horrible and stupid. And man, Alan Grant, I remember that. He was such a he was such a potato in the movie. Like he wasn't himself at all. He was just like
No.
a
He was a
cutout of
tag along.
himself. Yeah, and then remember like all his arc was is just like is is Ellie gonna like me? Is she gonna like me? Is Ellie gonna like
Right?
me?
That was it.
Unbelievable.
That was it. But I love it. So the 14 extra minutes is made up of the alternate opening, which I think, if I remember right, is going to be like the 65 million years ago opening.
Oh, that one sucks. It sucked. I saw that opening and I
Yeah.
hated it because it sucked.
Yeah. That's something they're putting back in,
It was
and
so
then
up its ass. I hated that opening.
it was, and then they are. I think there's another opening in the opening where the T Rex crashes into a
Oh, the
outdoor
theater? Yeah.
drive-in
Where
cinema.
it's such a cartoon, man, because like I understand the willingness to, have a joke where there's teenagers who are like, making out and they don't hear anything. But
Yes.
that's like I get it, you want to be Spielberg, but that's not how you do it, man.
No.
Oof, it's just so stupid. It's stupid, and people who like it are
Hold on. Careful.
misinformed.
I mean, Kay says as long as Goldblum and Neil are in it, he's okay with that.
I doubt you're gonna get anything with Goldblum and Neil. I don't believe it. I don't
The
believe it.
the one lady actress, I don't
You mean
remember
who? Laura Dern?
her name. No, this lady here who was
Oh, Han Solo.
the pilot lady.
You mean
Yes,
Han
Han
Solo?
Solo. Yeah, I mean she
She's literally
tweeted
Han Solo. She was just
she
like, "You need
yeah
a
she is.
ride? I'll take you guys there." I have a reformation of uh, my faith or whatever. You know.
Something like that. I mean, yeah, she tweeted something the other day. I'm pretty sure it was her. That was something about how glad she is that the film is going to be seen the way it should be seen. And I'm like, part of it makes me think, look,
Her agent just said, "Just say it. Just say it this way."
probably, and I'm like, maybe your character was the one who got cut the most
Maybe.
because you were the most empty in terms of your scenes. You were just kind of there. So maybe you kind of are happy that you might be getting your screen time back. But I'm like, it's not going to be enough to save the film.
No, it
Um,
never is. It never is. I've never heard of a director's cut that made a bad movie good.
and actually,
I've
Colin,
never heard that. I've never heard of one. Maybe Blade Runner, maybe,
well,
but
Blade
even
Runner
so,
is, yeah,
Blade Runner, I don't believe. I've not seen the theatrical, but I don't believe that seeing that will make me think that that movie sucked or was like shit. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Blade Runner situation
The
is
Blade.
I think quite tricky. But then we do have this
Fran
one.
Solo.
What's going on? Oh wait,
That's good. Kay
yeah.
did a good one.
I just want to show you one other thing because this it made me lol as well. Um, hang on a second. There we go.
uh,
Friends don't let friends watch the theatrical cut.
Go away,
There,
Colin. I
there
know,
was
I
a
know the
part.
joke, but
There was a part of me that was like, wanted to retweet it and just be like, friends don't let friends watch Jurassic World Dominion.
yeah, seriously.
Like, come on, man. This film is not
I don't
good.
know. How did Colin even get here? Like, how did he get these such wonderful opportunities? He was gonna do Star Wars 9, you know? I don't understand. I just don't understand. I guess you gotta be really good at talking. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm
You
a
know,
bitter
it's
man. I'm drunk and bitter now, and
drunk
that's
and
what's
bitter.
happening.
It's a mixture of things. It's a mixture of things.
It is. I know. I know. I know.
But there we go. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap it up now
I
to our
hate Jurassic World. I hate
oh, here
it.
we
Everyone, everyone that thought Jurassic World was, oh, it was good. I was one of you. I was one of you. I remember at the
was
end
he
of the
was
cinema. I was seeing it in the cinema and I left the movie smiling and happy because I knew it was dumb, but I loved it because it had so many references. But you know what? It's like fresh milk. Every time the longer it sits out in the world, the worse and worse it gets and the more you hate that thing. And I hated that movie the third time I saw it. I hated that film. I felt so betrayed by liking it, you know? It was like my first ever kind of member berries reference uh uh it was my first like member berries sort of betrayal, you know what I mean?
mm,
And I don't think I've ever had that feeling since. Maybe I have. Maybe it lingers, but man, that movie makes me mad. I
yeah.
hate that movie so much.
I think that one yeah, that one was a really good example of where the writing relied so heavily on the member berries, on things you
Yes,
know.
it was inconsistent too in tone.
Yes. It
What
was
are you
like,
doing?
oh,
Are you showing the majesty of Jurassic Park, having that warm fuzzy wuzzy or are you showing that it's a dull place where people are fed up with dinosaurs and we're showing corporate you
yeah,
know um,
yeah,
self-destructive uh,
yeah. But
things.
having the park in the first place
They did
up and
both.
running undermined everything that we'd seen
It
previously.
undermined
Like,
everything. I don't think. Like every time I think about this movie, like it undermined that. It undermined the fact that, and then they also did like, what if the dinosaurs went to the mainland? It's not about this Jurassic Park is not about showing the dinosaurs in the mainland. It's not about Planet of the Dinosaurs. It's not about that. No one gets it.
How do you really feel about this, Phil?
How do you think I feel?
No, I mean, I remember watching, I think, the third one when the the pterodactyl, when that got out of the cage. I was like, ooh, maybe they'll bring dinosaurs to the mainland. But I was like 12.
Yeah, but like it's like, why don't they show the shark in Jaws? That's the whole point. Imagine the chaos it will bring if you do it. Don't show
Yeah.
the chaos. It's not about that. It's not about that.
Well, and I think that's what drove me. Well, it is what drove me nuts with Jurassic World 2 and then 3. Is I'm just like, they wouldn't let these creatures in the
No,
country.
logically, there's no possible way, especially in the continuity of the second and third Jurassic Worlds, where they just had, how many dinosaurs were there? Like there couldn't be more than 100 of them, and you
Something like
don't
that.
even
Yeah.
have a. There's not even any chance that there's two of each, so they can't even breed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I hate
Life
that.
found a way.
Oh, shut up. I just remember all the viral marketing they did for Jurassic World 3 where it's like, like, oh, look, the world changed so much. Now they have like, instead of deer crossing, there's like, oh, Gallimimus crossing. It's like,
Yeah.
get out of here. Get out of here. I hate it. I hate it because they think
Oh, it's
that
terrible.
I'm
It's
done with this.
it's like I was compare it to the Free Willy cartoon. It's just absurd silliness. I don't know if anyone remembers, but there was a Free Willy cartoon, and Jesse and Randolph and another a new girl character, sidekick girl character, would go on adventures, and they had a little seal who would always be with them. And then the seal would sometimes do things with Free Willy in the ocean, and it was just
Deep cuts.
it is a deep cut, but it's like it's one thing. It just becomes this absurd thing of like, oh, Jesse and Willie are on adventures, and doing sort of environmental friendly things, and it's all a bit crazy and absurd. Yeah, cartoon. It's YouTube it. There's the full episodes, Path, are on YouTube, and it's hilarious.
I'm gonna check this out.
Do it. And Jurassic World reminds me of the cartoon version of things, or like the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla cartoon with Suzuki or whatever his name was. It's like, okay,
Godzuki. Did you say Suzuki?
what did I say? Suzuki. That's a car or something like that. Suzuki. Um, yeah, Godzuki, whatever the heck his name was. Where it's like, yeah, you're trying to do this big mega property, but you're trying to kidify it, but it doesn't need to be kidified, but you do it anyway because you're stupid, and that is essentially what.
And the irony is that they have a cartoon of Jurassic World called Camp Cretaceous, and they're like, this is for the kids. And it's like, no. Your movie is for the kids, too. You stop trying to be high and mighty. Here it is. I'm watching it now. Technology.
Yes,
Isn't that
that's
crazy?
it. That's it.
Isn't that crazy?
Really?
Isn't it crazy how technology developed where we're at a moment where I could just go on the internet, do a quick search, and I can watch the entire Free Willy cartoon anywhere with this little thin hand. I'm always in awe at that, honestly, like
Technology.
I am. Yeah, I'm not even old, but like, it's incredible. Look at it. Look at him jump. Look at him jump.
Look at him jump.
There's the logo.
There you go. Because I think Kay, you're right, and Phil, you were saying as well. Jurassic Park is definitely a kids show. I was like 5 or something like
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. So Jurassic Park came out when I was like 5, and I wanted to see it. And it's a film that sort of appeals really heavily to young people, to kids. Because dinosaurs and kids love dinosaurs, right? Yes, it appeals to the other age. So my point is Jurassic Park, not only did it appeal to kids, it also hit the chords with adults as well. It was that perfect movie that, like, a kid from kind of 6 or 7, maybe 7, can watch, and or you can be like stinking 77 or older, and yeah, it was great. But like Jurassic World, I wouldn't even let a kid watch it. It's too stupid. And because that's the problem that I have with certain things. It's like I wouldn't want a kid to watch this, not for any like moral reason, other than just it's stupid.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
that's the
I
thing.
wouldn't
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to show a kid any Star Wars except for the original 3 because the rest are stupid,
but you'd
including.
let them you'd let them do it themselves, right?
Oh no, yeah, sure. If I let them, if they like want to go off, and then you're fine, you know. But it's like I'm not going to promote it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No way, no way. Path. Do kids have movie themed lunch boxes anymore? I have no idea.
Which one was yours? Did you have one?
No.
I had. I know that I had one specifically, and it was Darth Maul from 1999's Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
There you go. There you go. Yes, Pat. Kay, you're correct. Disney would be the one that makes them. Oh, Path at Empire Strikes Back. Nice,
You can see
nice.
the generation gap here, like OG, and then me, little prequel boy, going to see the prequels when I was 10.
Now that would be the lunchbox to have.
Wow.
Was that in '95? So was that from the movie, or was it the '80s cartoon? Because that's an interest. The '90s are an interesting time because the '90s were recycling all of the '80s cartoons. So I was both into the '90 movie, 1990
Right.
movie, but also the '80s TV show cartoon. And like that's what all the toys were sort of based on when I was a kid. Which I'm getting some of them back when my sister comes. I went through the '80s cartoon. Nice. So the question then is, Kay, who was your favorite Ninja Turtle? Donatello is mine.
Leonardo.
And there you go. Donatello's the best.
Leonardo.
But yeah, no. Oh yeah, what's cool is so I have family visiting at the end of the month, and I had my parents go through the crates of my action figures that are were in the shed, and they have filled an entire suitcase, 50 almost 50 pounds worth of my action figures, from like 12 foot tall Terminator, right, to like
12
little
foot tall.
not 12 foot, 12 inch, 12 inch,
Okay. There
12
we go.
foot tall, 12 inch Terminator figure, but like has sounds and stuff like that. It's so cool, so cool. To some Star Wars stuff, a lot of Star Trek stuff. Yeah,
That's a
things
lot
like
of
that. Oh, it's gonna
stuff.
be great. It's gonna be
Do you think
great.
do you think they can bring it over here
Yeah, they put it
without
into a suitcase. They're gonna bring it in the suitcase.
Okay.
I can't wait.
I'm excited.
Raph,
I'm excited. We'll see.
Raphael, there we
Okay,
go.
let's
I
wrap
like that
this
we
up.
all
Let's
like.
wrap this
I,
up.
calm down. I like that we all like different turtles. The movie I saw the original in '77 at the cinema with my family.
Amazing.
Did you? That would be cool.
Amazing. I have yet to see Star Wars on film, preferably, but in cinemas. I'd love to see it in cinemas.
I saw the original 3 in cinema. Eh,
Yeah.
I saw the special editions in cinema
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah, yeah.
they were releasing them. I remember though that being a big deal, and yeah, we went to the cinema to see all 3 of those. So I did see Star Wars in that way, and that was actually quite something. That's left an impression on me. But anyway, we have gone for 2 hours and 14 minutes, the runtime of X-Men 2, the best X-Men movie of them all.
It's a good X-Men movie.
It's a great X-Men movie.
One day,
Um,
Wolverine.
one day, someone will finish what I started, Wolverine. So anyway, don't forget next week come back and hang out with us
That's
because we
right.
have Bonnie Bird. Next week after that, we're gonna be chatting Rings of Power,
Oh
and
yeah.
after that, I don't know, and then Judge Dredd stuff. So yeah, come back, hang out
Talking.
with us, like, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. So that's it. Enjoy the rest of your week, folks. And if there's any topics or anything you would like us to talk about, like, drop us a line. You can find me on Twitter at Luke Writes Crime and Phil Dragish. You can drop me a line and say, like, hey, this is something that's interesting, maybe talk about this. Feel free to drop us some topics that you might like us to talk
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
because that would be fun. Um, Otherwise, yeah, we will see you next week.